Parthenon was the chief temple of the goddess Athena. Two architects named Ictinus and Callicrates built it, but a guy named Phidias sculpted the statue of Athena, which was under the direction of the Athenian leader Pericles on the top of the Acropolis in Athens. It was built during the mid-5th century BCE, and the work began in 1447 and it ended in 1438. But exterior decoration did not end until 1432 BCE. It is considered the highest accomplishment of the Doric order, which is the simplest of the three Greek orders. There's a frieze of triglyphs in the inside, and then there were the Elgin marbles that were stolen from it by Britons. The statue of Athena was lost. Then there are Doric and Ionian columns to hold up the ceiling. And then there are the meotopes of the Parthenon, which depict four series of great Greek battles, such as a mythical battle with the Amazons, which is depicted on the west side, a battle between the Lapis and the Centaur on the south side, the battle between the giants and the gods on the east side, and the north side is depicting the Trojan War. On the northwest and south sides, there is a frieze depicting a parade of horsemen, musicians, and animal sacrifices. On the east side, a picture of a child giving a cloth to an older man, with gods and goddesses in attendance, is also depicted. The Colosseum was built in Rome under the Flavian emperors. It was built in the 0th century BCE, so from 0 to 99. It was located on Palatine Hill, which is the center of Rome. Three of the arena's stories are encircled by arcades, framed with decorative columns in the Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian orders. The structure's rising arrangement became the basis of the Renaissance's codification known as the assemblage of orders. The Colosseum was built in an eclipse structure with tiers. No one knows who the architect was, unfortunately. The first layer was built with Ionic columns, then the second layer had Doric columns, and the third was Corinthian, which is the most ornate. It's around 12 to 15 stories high, and there was a thing called a velarium, which is basically a VIP box. So it was reserved for the emperor and his guests. The Villa of Mysteries was an ornate household found in Pompeii. No one knows who built it, or who painted it for that matter. The main thing is the initiation chamber, which is a room filled with beautiful portraits of the god Dionysus and his mother, Semele, or his wife, Ariadne. They are partying a lot. The Greek vases, which are fairly common, were created by various people, various artists and potters, and they often depicted scenes from Greek mythology. And they came in many types, such as the amphora. However, there were only really two main colors, which makes this fairly impressive. Black and red. It's kind of hard to color in those. The Nike winged victory statue was sculpted around 220 to 185 BCE by the sculptor Samothrace. It was made out of Parian and Rhodian marble, so marble from Paria and Rhodes. It stands about 6 meters in height, and it wears a chiton, which is an ancient Greek tunic, and a himitation, which is basically an ancient Greek poncho. The equestrian of Marcus Aurelius was erected in 176 AD. It's larger than life size, and it was refurbished, well, obviously it's larger than life size, and it was refurbished by Michelangelo in 1539. It's made of bronze, and it's essentially a giant statue of Marcus Aurelius on a horse. Now, it's kind of difficult to compare the Parthenon and the Colosseum, but there are a few things that you can compare. The Colosseum uses the same kind of columns as the Parthenon in a portion of its structure, and the Colosseum is more of an eclipse structure versus the conventional rectangle structure that the Parthenon used. Now, the Parthenon was mainly a worship temple, so it held a lot of sculptures and friezes depicting religious scenes. But the Colosseum held mechanisms for the blood sport that was performed in it. The vases versus the Villa of Mysteries is a little easier. The artwork on both depicts Greek mythology, which I find kind of odd, considering that the Villa of Mysteries was Roman. But the villa's paintings are in more colors than the vases, which means they have a little more detail. The Equestrian versus the Winged Victory. The Equestrian is a little taller than the Winged Victory. And the Winged Victory is made of marble, while the Equestrian is made of bronze. The Winged Victory depicts a supernatural being, while the Equestrian is a statue of a ruler.